Do you have one of those followers who is constantly nagging you to take him somewhere warm? Well, this mod might well be for you. Hi guys, and welcome to part 96 of Skyrim Mod Sanctuary, and if you couldn't have guessed already, I'm going to be taking a look at Moonpath to Elsweyr. Moonpath to Elsweyr is a quest mod, obviously, but it is possibly one of the first quest mods. In fact, it may actually even be the very first quest mod. It's certainly the first one I was made aware of. I actually did a video when the mod first came out, and I will put a link to it here and you can go and actually see that. But it came out pretty close to when the creation kit came out, and this kind of mod did require the creation kit. So this might actually be the first ever. But it has been improved since then. New things have been added, new areas, new quests. The mod has been polished and in general just improved overall. So I thought I would actually revisit it and play it again from the start. And I'm really glad I did, because I don't think when I first played through this mod I realised what a unique experience it was. This mod recreates an area that is very different to Skyrim. There are actually a variety of different areas in this mod. You've got the starting area, which is a kind of waterway, a jungle canyon that is very dark and creepy, but still gives off this very warm feeling. You have an arid desert area, which is probably what people tend to think of when they think of Elsweyr, and there is also a sort of tropical island area as well, and all of these different areas represent different areas in Elsweyr, but they are all very well done. They don't just look different, they sound different. The ambient sound really gives the impression that you're in some totally different land. So overall, the feeling you get is of being thousands of miles from snowy Skyrim. And this feeling is further emphasised by the fact that the mod author added a few new steps to getting to Elsweyr. When I first played this, you simply entered an area and appeared in Elsweyr, but now you have to go on a little bit of a quest. You join a caravan that is going to travel the Moonpaths to Elsweyr, and there are a couple of encounters. I won't spoil it too much, but they have that old school random encounter feel to them. So as you're travelling along, you will have a few things to do, but this really does help give you that feeling of having travelled away from Skyrim. And once you arrive in Elsweyr, there are quite a few little quests to do. Now, it's not a massive quest line like in, say, Falskar or the main quest in the vanilla game. It's little quests, small things to help people out. There's a little bit of a problem in one area, there may be a Thalmor problem in another area, that type of thing, and you will run around and sort these issues out for people and obviously earn their gratitude. It is not a huge quest. In fact, to do everything, you probably can do everything in 2 or 3 hours if you really focus, but it is quite a lot of fun. All of the NPCs are voice acted, although the quality does vary from NPC to NPC. Sometimes the microphone quality is not that good, but in general it's actually as good as, if not better occasionally, than the vanilla game.
Now, I'm a busy man, and your pointless questions are boring me terribly. Good day.
And there are a couple of extra additions, such as a player home. That's not exactly a home, it is a home, but it's not a house. It's an area where everything you need in a player home exists, and it is granted to you for your personal use. There is also, it's probably a little bit of a spoiler here, but there is also a flying airship that will take you from place to place, which is kind of fun. There are also quite a lot of new creatures. There is a Slode, There are these very small blue dinosaur type creatures, and there are a lot of new types of spider. If you are an arachnophobe, you are not going to like this mod, be warned. There is a strange beast of burden called the moon cow, but one of the biggest surprises for me were the variety of Khajiit races. You see, whilst I enjoy the Elder Scrolls and I'm quite interested in the lore, I've never really been that fascinated by the Khajiit, and I really didn't realise there were so many different types of Khajiit, and this mod does a really good job of actually portraying that, of showing you some of the different races. But more than that, it kind of dragged me into being very curious about the Khajiit. There are a few books you can read that will introduce you to some of their customs, to some of their ways, and leave you wanting to find more. Leave you thinking, you know what, there's a hell of a lot more to Elsweyr and the Khajiit than I realised. And so whilst I really do commend this mod for being a lot of fun, for being a great little quest mod, the greatest thing I came away with from this mod was a new sense of wonder for the different races, in this particular case, the Khajiit. I found myself being a little wiser about the Elder Scrolls lore, a little wiser about how little of the Elder Scrolls lore I actually know. And so, if you are looking for new things to do in Skyrim and perhaps new places to visit and experience, this is one you should try out. And if you are, like me, a little, shall we say, unaware of the differences in the Khajiit, you might want to try this out just as a learning experience. When it first came out, this mod was one I recommended because it was a great achievement, being one of the first quest mods. Now I recommend it because even after all this time, it's still a pretty damn good quest mod. Now in general, installation is pretty simple. Moonpath is, just a single file. You enable it and it will work. However, if you are using ELFX, Enhanced Lights and FX, you will need to use a patch for that mod and Moonpath. The patch is actually found in the main installer for ELFX. So if you've already got that mod installed, you may have to reinstall it, and as you can see for me, choose the option that gives the ELFX Moonpath ESP and make sure that is selected in your load order. What it's doing is it's making the two mods compatible in Falkreath, in the inn. Both mods change the Falkreath inn, and without the patch there are some issues. This will also be true of any other mods that change Falkreath. There may be some conflict. You may have to look at that mod to see if there's a compatibility patch for Moonpath. I would also recommend the typo patch, Moonpath to Elsweyr, which is a mod that fixes typos and grammatical errors that can be found in the original mod. The original mod was created by someone whose first language was not English, and thus a few errors crept in. This mod just cleans it up, so I recommend installing that as well. Okay, well that is about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful. I'm going to be ending, as usual, with a lot of screenshots that you guys have been posting, and a big thank you to everyone who has done so. I will of course leave a link down below where you can post any images you have, any screenshots you have, and in advance a big thank you for doing so. Many of you know that I am currently testing the perma mod, and I'm actually doing that live, and you are more than welcome to join me for that if you keep your eyes open for the live streams, and hopefully sometime in the nearish future I will be able to give you a full rundown on that mod. I've also got a few new candidates for testing that I will be hopefully slipping in the timetable sometime soon. And of course I am planning to play through a lot of quest mods, and will of course bring you the full review once I've done so. I hope you guys can join me for those videos or any of my other videos. You are of course more than welcome to join me for those. And until then, remember, as always, have fun.